All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Oh, the surfers are out. I hope you can hear me. Look, the sun just came out and started shining from beneath a bunch of clouds that were there before. I can't watch videos like this. Oh, I don't need you to see my feet, but I was just looking at the footsteps. It reminds me of that poem, you know, the footsteps in the sand. All right. I don't know how much. I kind of don't want to be on the screen. But I think sometimes, anyway, so today we're going to talk about your rod and your staff, they comfort me. All right. This is in the Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, therefore I lack nothing. Psalm 23, Jesus says, I am the good shepherd, right? And so Jewish people can read Psalm 23 was written by a king. It was written by King David. Here, I'll zoom in on. I can zoom in when I'm like this. This is awesome. Because usually I can't zoom in because it's flipped the other way. Can you see the surfers? Let's see. Whoa. So the Lord is my shepherd, therefore I lack nothing. I don't lack anything. Look, when we're here today, does it seem like we lack anything? Where's the sun? I'm too zoomed in. Too zoomed in to see the sun. I can turn this for a second. So you know who's talking. And look, my sweatshirt says love on the back. I just got to take my sweatshirt off so that I can feel the sun on my arms and get the vitamin D. Okay, let's see if any of the surfers take away. The Lord is my shepherd, therefore I lack nothing. He leads me he leads me to green pastures, right? There's the green. Maybe if you can see how green that is. Green pastures. He leads me beside the quiet waters. That's the water I learned recently. The shepherd will take out. Look, like this today. Can you see this? Look at this. Hold on, let's get the surfers. This is incredible. I've never seen this. I've been to this beach since I was 17. And I've never seen this before. Not like this, where I don't remember seeing it. Look, there's an inlet of water. So sheep are afraid of, because they're so furry, right? And they're afraid of getting wet. And so what the shepherd does, that looks like my friend, the surfer guy. I'm not getting, oh yeah. I wonder if that is, I don't know. I can't tell. All right, so what the shepherd does is, I know, cut surfer, my friends, yeah, sure. That's just part of their life. Like you're balancing on that surfboard in the ocean. It's such a beautiful craft, beautiful hobby. You know, just being here, just being like. All right, so we'll go through the psalm, but I was planning on just doing the other part. But look, okay, so I heard, this is so awesome that we get this today. Like I wasn't planning on doing a video. I just have to walk back to my car after reading Sir Gibby for us. Whenever you're getting this, it was the day I was out here. Okay, so they say that the shepherd cuts a stream for the sheep because they're so woolly. And I almost brought my sheep jacket but anyway, I have this one. It's not made out of sheep, it just looks like it. And so you lead me beside quiet waters instead of this, right? See this? The ocean waters. There can be really huge waves up here. They were going against these rocks on the other side of this. But look, the shepherd cuts out a path of quiet water so that the sheep who get scared and frightened easily can drink. Okay? You lead me beside the quiet waters. So, you know, God's not going to coddle us in our fears because he wants us to get over our fears and traumas from childhood, but he knows we have them, right? I'm holding this camera like this to block the wind out. So anyway, I hope you can hear. So he leads me beside quiet waters. He restores my soul. He reminds us of what our real soul is, right? Like the sun shining through, like my fingernails. I have this sparkly, I get iridescent when I can, fingernails to remind us of our soul nature, which C.S. Lewis said in Mere Christianity or the Weight of Glory, that we would be tempted to worship one another if we saw each other in our glorified state, if we go towards, that direction, the direction that we were always meant to go in, that God will make in us, and God is making in lots of people you don't understand. So God says, he says it's not ours to judge another person. To his own master he will stand or fall. Who are you to judge another man's servant, it says. That's a verse in the New Testament, right? And C.S. Lewis says it so well. He says that, there are many people that God's working on that are already his, but don't yet call themselves by his name, and I'm not being universalist, I'm just saying, and there are many that have walked away from Christ, even clergy, he said, but still call themselves by the name of Christian, right? And so I welcome all people, but not, I always say but there's no but there. There's no undoing of that. I welcome all people. Let's go up here. All right, so, all right, the Lord is my shepherd. Therefore, because of that, I lack nothing. There's nothing I lack because everything happens spiritually first. Oh, getting a call. I better wrap this up quickly. Anyway, therefore I lack nothing. He brings me to green pastures where we're walking right now. He leads me beside quiet waters. He restores my soul. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, in the valley and the shadow, the sheep think it's nighttime, so they think all the wolves are coming out. Yesterday I was walking with my little dog, and this big dog came up behind us and frightened us because we didn't see it. It was like around this side. We didn't see it, but it was behind a fence, and so it says, no weapon formed against us shall prosper. The weapons will form. The dogs will be out. But walk with God and he protects you. Look at this little bird. Anyway, I want to direct it away from other people. Whoops. So they're not on camera. I hope you're well. Hold on, I'll go back to. Hi. Oh yeah, I can just show you the ocean. Can I show you that? That's what we've been looking at. I love it when something else is on the camera. This is so fun for me. Okay, I am in America, so that's our flag right now. Okay, so even though I walk through the valley of the shadow, see this shadow, and then we'll come back out in the sun. The sheep think that the shadow is nighttime, so they think all the predators will come out. And even if it does look like night for you, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. The God of the cosmos, the God that created the whole world is with me. The God that created this, that's expansive like this. Like the whole ocean, look at this. For you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. I'm going to finish it. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy will follow me, will pursue me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever, every day, forever and ever in eternity, right? All right, so we're walking this road, and we saw the footsteps before us. My footsteps came this way, and then now we're going back, but just like Tolkien had in The Hobbit, he wanted to call it there and back again, because like C.S. Lewis says Christianity is about, we have this understanding that God created the world good, but it has gone amiss. But we retain the memory of the good that it was, and that's what calls us back to love, all of us. Everyone retains that memory. Plato said that all learning is just remembering. So you have this memory of perfect love. That's why I always wear that heart necklace, to remind myself, drop down out of my head into my heart. There's always love, and there's always a memory in the deepest part of you of love. And so your rod and your staff, they comfort me, all right? To me, God was showing me in my meditation with him. So you can take it as it is and use your discernment and look up things and all that. So, but the rod and staff are like the yin and the yang, like action and passivity, like Mary and Martha. Mary sat at the feet of Jesus, right? She sat at his feet and learned from him. And Martha didn't know he was going to die soon, maybe a year or two after that. 3 or less, right? Because he started anyway. I hope you can hear. But if not, the ocean will speak it, right? Out of the nature, his handiwork speaks, so that none are with excuse. We don't have an excuse. We have this. Look at the green pastures, right? So your rod and your staff. So the rod is an active thing that they would use to like take down. If that dog did come after me and Jesus Christ was next to me, not only within me, but is next to me, right? He would protect me from that dog taking us out. If it was God's will for me to be alive, he would. I know he would. And so the rod is what the shepherds would use to take out the predators. David said he had to, before he killed Goliath, he took out Goliath. I gotta watch my words, right? For whatever platforms, because I'm not talking about violence here, except for to let go of our egotism and die to our old selves, like Jesus says. Anyway, your rod and your staff, they comfort me. The staff is like the hook that would hook the sheep as they're falling off the ledge, right? Because sometimes they just follow other sheep, even off a ledge, right? They just keep grazing and looking down at the food, like some of us, right? We just look down at the food that we have now instead of the word. One of the fruits of the Spirit is temperance, to delay the immediate gratification for the greater good that's more remote. So your rod and your staff, they comfort me. The staff is what you use to balance. So the staff of God, Moses had a staff, and it helped part the Red Sea so they could cross between it, so that their enemies would be drowned behind them. And sometimes these enemies are within us. They're our old patterns, and we want God to keep them away from us so that we don't keep turning to them, and we turn instead to perfect love. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. They bring me comfort, because every time I start wobbling and fall, right, and get all wonky again, I call on God. You can call on God, the creator of this universe, the creator of all of this, and say, come help me again, forgive me again, help me forgive others, that I'm waiting for them to love me. Help me to know that your love is enough, and you teach me what love is, and then I'll stop waiting for those that don't know how to love me. I'll just love them and move on with my life, right? All these toxic cycles that I'm always talking about and teaching about. The Lord is my shepherd, therefore I lack nothing. Start living that in your life. These words are true. His word is not meant to go out void, but be true and active in your life. There are moments of clarity in our life where we see these things. I was meditating for an hour on this passage this morning, on the surely goodness and mercy. Mercy in Hebrew is chesed, it's loving kindness. Surely your loving kindness and goodness will chase me down every time I run away, every time I fall down, every time I run towards you, every time I praise you, every time there's joy or sorrow. This cup. Anyway, there's so much in this passage mystically. The Lord is my shepherd. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. They help me come forth. That's what I learned what comfort is. They help me come forth and be courageous Jesus was both lion and lamb, sacrificial lamb and the lion. So he was like a king. I read it in a commentary from the 1100s this morning. They were quoting an Old Testament passage from Balaam. Even though Balaam ended up being wicked, he had a passage about how Christ will be like a lion, reclining and reigning, or something, reclining in his death, right? But then reigning in his resurrection. It's so cool because it says the Lion King in it, you know, because I got that 5 years ago in a vision I got. But anyway, I don't need to go into that. It doesn't matter what I got. It's just all I want to do is convey this and give this away. And so your rod and your staff, just contemplate. Ask God to show you what it means for you. You know, this one thing that helps you. You know how in AA and when people are trying to get over addictions, it's like, or getting over addictions, it says, I came to believe that a power greater than me, I came to believe that a power greater than myself can restore me to sanity. All right, sanity is walking in love and righteousness, true righteousness, not religious stuff, but the way that we were always intended to live. That's all. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. The one that helps me. So God will help you fight your enemies with that rod. Fight the enemies you have within yourself, or just surrender to God and let him fight. Exodus 14:14 says, I will fight for you. Be still and I will fight for you. And I forgot the second half of that verse, but it's so good. It's so good. It's more redemption. It's all I ever had. Bob Marley sings redemption song. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. He says like none but ourselves can free our minds, but you know, it's yourself, your will to choose the will of God. I gotta get back to that call because my child is calling and I told him last night where I would be, but he probably doesn't remember. Maybe not. Maybe he says. Anyway, your rod and your staff, they comfort me. So Moses held up this staff and they would keep winning in the battle when Moses held his staff up. And then two men had to bring these rocks next to him and hold his arms up. And as long as his arm was up, then they were winning. I think maybe the arms are up in praise, so maybe there's not a staff there. But one time he's holding up a staff and all of those who were bitten by a snake would be healed if they stared at the staff. And it's not about worshiping any staff with a snake on it. That's what they make the medical sign. So it's not about, because in the book of Revelations it talks about pharmakia and how we will be, people will be deceived from pharmakia. So just watch out for that. But I like the peaceful setting we're in, so I don't want to get into all sorts of politics. It's like, understand that I'm just respecting people's privacy, so I'll keep looking at the sky and stuff. But God will help you if we're called to be kings and priests, you know, and which we are, all of us, every single person on this planet. That's our true calling. And so part of that is learning not to be led by your addictions, but asking God to help you get out. And your addictions to egotism or to mind or to overthinking stuff or to overworking or to over gossiping or over golfing or, you know, trying to get all of your fixes through your own means. Any of us, I'm not saying me excluded, you know, idolizing another person and thinking their love is going to heal these old childhood wounds. You know, or idolizing a celebrity or something and thinking if I just knew them, then, you know, then I would be famous and that would heal this old wound. No, God will heal your wound. When you go to the Good Shepherd, you lack nothing. And then everything comes after that. Jesus says, seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, the way he intended us to walk in love. And all these other things will be added to us, right? They'll just be added to us. So this rod that can be used to take out all the enemies of our soul, to take them out so that they're not dominating other people. You know, there's all these verses in the Psalms about vindicate me, O Lord, help me, direct me. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not on your own understanding. Lean on his staff, right? There's a reed right there, so it's a lot stronger than that thing. I'll zoom in. All right, your rod and your staff, they comfort me, they bring me comfort. The staff is passive, is the balance. And so that's why I was saying, it's like, I don't understand all of the yin and the yang stuff, but I understand it's like the Mary was passive and sat at the feet of Jesus because she deemed it was the time to listen to him, that she needed to listen while he was there. You know, they called him rabbi and teacher. He's the God man that came here. And so he says, I am the good shepherd, and Jesus is not a liar. So consider if he is, you know, I'm not going to make anyone. And so the Lord is my shepherd, therefore I lack nothing. His rod and his staff, they comfort me. The staff helps me be still and know that God is God and I am not God. God is God. And I can rest in the fact of him being God. There's time for action and a time for resting. There's a time to be active in our lives and do, and there's a time to be, just being. So it comforts me that God doesn't want me running around doing all the time, signing up for all these things that look like I'm doing good services to people, but not taking time to be. It's funny when this sign over here is folded this way, it says no lifeguard on duty. But God is our lifeguard, he's always on duty. I was just reading that at the end of Sir Gibby. He neither slumbers nor sleeps. Shomer Yisrael, the watcher of Israel. Anyway, thanks for being here. Thanks for walking with me. It was fun not being on camera. I don't know what it looks like when it was flipped around. I wish you so much love. And remember, his rod and his staff can comfort you. All right. One more look at the ocean, right? All right, much love.